what's up? Red Panda Anthem. Red Panda, what's good?
You become very dangerous when you start breaking the rules of life. Not like breaking the rules as far as like breaking the law, but breaking the rules of life. And it's like you said, like breakfast, that whole thing it was made to support the dairy industry and the farmers. School is built as a pipeline to, working a 9-to-5 job. Like all that type of stuff. Like I was just having this conversation with my barber, and I was telling him, like, I'm lucky because I went to college and I was an American Studies major for the first 2 years because I just wanted to be eligible. I wanted to take the easiest pathway to get a degree. And then I transferred and they didn't have American Studies and I took communications. I said, what's the easiest path to get a degree? Communications. Sign me up. I didn't care because I knew that it wasn't going to matter. Never looked at it like I never truly, honestly, never.
Interesting.
I
didn't know you were a communication major. Yeah, that's interesting. For you to be in broadcasting now, that's.
But it had nothing to do with it though. Some people might think that, but trust me, the communications degree is just the easy path to get a degree. But I honestly, truly believe in my soul that I would never have to rely on my college degree, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I was the opposite. I went to school for something completely different. I went to be a physical therapist and realized I hated science. And I was just like, wait, what am I doing here? Like, I hate science. Kinesiology is not my thing. Physics 2 is not my thing. Chem 2 is not my thing. And I was like, wait, I got to find out what I'm good at. And I'm good at working with kids and I love sports. So like, that's how it came into phys ed, which led me. So I know what you're saying, but my thing is like, every step for me has led me to the next step. And so being a teacher, I never wanted to be in a classroom. I wanted to be through phys ed. I wanted to teach kids sports. Being in a classroom helped me create structure to create lesson plans.
Yes.
It had me thinking like, wait,
that's amazing.
This is bigger. This is big. I can now write a lesson. I could do it on any subject. So when the summer program comes around, it's like, oh, wait, we can write lessons. Yo, let's do this. Let's teach this. And so that opened it up. So like, I know your route is different, but like and maybe there's people who have your route and there's some people that probably has mine as well. But it's like, I feel like every step of the way prepared me for the next step, right? Because like you said, like right now, people will look at us as like, yo, we're in media, obviously. We're in broadcasting, right? We're in journalism. Yeah, like my phys ed degree doesn't help me get here to that point, but every step along the way, in a way, has helped get to this point. Right. By degree, it doesn't make sense, but by steps, it does.
But if you look at it as a business model, and at some point, I mean, we're definitely, and I said last week, the student loan bubble is going to be like the biggest thing to erode. It's going to be like the final nails in the coffin for America as a country, becoming a second world country. And so I wasn't upset about the loan forgiveness. I want to be clear about that. But when you cannot write off that debt because that was lobbied for, just look at it as a business model. You pay anywhere $10,000 to $100,000 a year to go to school. You are not guaranteed job placement upon exiting. And if you leave, as long as you pay your tuition, no one really cares. And you have no ROI for what you're going to get if the college business model does not change. I really think that the model of colleges are going to die. Also, if we look at endowments, so if we look at like Harvard, Yale, Stanford, Princeton, I know University of Texas is getting big. The endowment value went from $127.2 billion to $171 billion in 1 year. So now you have to look at these colleges like they're hedge funds. So even if you don't have family that's went to college, for everyone that's been like a first generation student going to college, even knowing what to ask and what career path to go down, you're going to get taken advantage of if you don't know the right questions to ask. So that's why I tell all parents that have kids, and if they haven't been to college, you have to be incredibly active to know the business of college to get the most out of it. For me, I love Indiana University. The biggest thing for me that I got from it was the connections.
Well, that's crazy that you say that, because I just had this conversation. I told you I was with Joe Foy, who's our guidance counselor in high school. And I literally just had this conversation with him an hour ago. And I was telling him, and he was telling me, and he was like, I'm like, people aren't educated on how to get educated. And I think that, you know, before you go to college, you should sit down with somebody and you should look at what you're majoring in and what's the average salary in that. Because like I said, for me personally, a liberal arts degree from a mid-level state school is not something that's going to be beneficial in life. It's not. A communications degree from, like I said, a mid-level state school is not something that you're going to be extremely successful in the workforce. It's not going to happen. Luckily for me, I didn't care, but that's a rare situation. If you're going to rely on your college degree, you should at least put yourself in a situation where you're picking the right major, and you should also be picking a school that's going to be beneficial and not going to, you know, cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. So maybe you go to state school, maybe you go to junior college, because ultimately, if you're getting a master's degree, the master's is the only thing that matters anyway. But I don't know. People, they always don't. A lot of people don't like when I start talking about education because they're like, "Well, you went to college and da 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 da." I'm not anti-college. I think it's beneficial. It didn't hurt me, but I didn't pay for college either. So you gotta look at me like a different situation. I have a full sports scholarship, so I didn't pay for college. So of course, I can afford to do things a little differently because I wasn't paying for it. And another thing is, I always knew that I wasn't going to use my college degree, so I didn't really care. I was just trying to get through as quick as possible. I graduated in 3.5 years, and I took the easiest route possible, and it worked out. That's not normal. That's not normal, and that's not something that's advisable. I wouldn't advise people to do that because 9 times out of 10. It's not going to be, you're not going to have the same pathway that I have. And you could, you know, potentially hurt yourself. Most people that did what I do are hurting right now because they have liberal arts degrees. If you have a liberal arts degree, sociology, I'm sorry. If you have a sociology degree, a psychology degree, a communications degree, a histories degree, an arts degree, I'm sorry. Yeah. It's not going to be beneficial for you. I promise you, it's not going. If you don't have a master's degree after that, and even if you have a master's degree,
yeah, that's key.
if you have an undergraduate degree in any of those degrees, I promise you, it's an 80% chance that it's not going to be beneficial
unless you continue education.
I just said if you have,
we got to.
But even if you have a master's degree, a lot of masters, you got a master's degree in sociology.
Doesn't guarantee.
What are you going to do with a master's degree in sociology?
Yeah, that's what I said. It doesn't guarantee anything. Psychology, obviously, you can go into there's different fields, but you still got to go to grad school.
That's a whole different thing.
You could be a school psychologist.
School psychologist.
Yeah.
How's that working out?
That's a career for somebody.
How is it working out?
I don't know. I'm not in the field, but I know it's a career. You know what I'm saying? So like there are professions.
We can't belittle
like
the career.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Yeah, I don't want to do that because there's
it's not. It's not about belittling.
I'm just saying there's people who their livelihood.
If they was mad about the AB thing, they're gonna be mad about that. Trust me.
There's people that have sociology degrees.
Yeah.
That work in sociology programs and community centers, and it's an important, but it's not something that 9 times out of 10 you're going to be struggling. If you want to struggle financially, then that's a pathway to take. It's okay. If you want to be a librarian in today's world where libraries are closing and there's really no need for libraries at a certain point, it's a noble job. Is it advisable? Probably not. Well, sometimes we just gotta be honest.
Not going to work is relative, right? Because like somebody's not going to work is not going to be yours, right? So like somebody who is a sociology major, who is a social worker, they may have married a spouse who has taken care of them financially or vice versa, right? So like we can't say not going to work. We're going to say it's
80% chance.
I would probably use the language around financially, but it won't be the highest paying. It will be the most financially beneficial.
This that Red Panda Anthem. Ian, what's up? This that Red Panda Anthem. Red Panda, what's good? Red Panda Anthem. Your boy going up. I know they can't stand it.